Hello viewers, welcome back to Network Home YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are going to learn about a very important topic, that is DNS. So here DNS stands for the domain name service. So let's understand what is DNS. So whenever we need to access any website, we just open a web browser and just type in the name of that particular website. Since it is very easy to remember the website name. But actually, whenever we need to access a website, we need to have the IP address of that particular website. So DNS helps in that case. It is not easy for a normal person to remember the IP address of each website. So here DNS resolves such fully qualified domain names into a IP address, or it can convert the IP address into a fully qualified domain names. So it is just like a telephone directory of IP address. So in the normal telephone directory, we can find the list of a person with corresponding phone numbers. Similarly, DNS has the directory, that is, it has the IP address list corresponding to its domain names. So it just makes it easier for us to access the IP address for a particular domain name. So the port number that is used by the DNS is 53. It works on two queries, that is like recursive query and the other one is iterative. So in case of a recursive query, it is between the client and the local DNS server. Let's say I want to access a website. It could be, for example, Instagram.com. So just open a web browser and type in Instagram.com. But in the what happens is, so the local DNS server, if it has the older cache memory of that particular website, so it can access the IP address of that Instagram.com and we can log into that page. But previously, if I don't have any access of that, the memory in the cache memory of a local DNS server, if I don't have that IP address, then comes in the iterative query. So here it has to go on certain process. So where the first thing it has to do is it has to get into the root domain server. Then the local DNS server actually approaches the root domain server. So in a root domain server, there are 13 root domain servers in the world and they are maintained by 12 organizations. So in this root domain server, there are major domain servers addresses will be there. For example, it could be a .com, .edu or .gov, .in, .net, etc. So from this root domain server, I can get the address of the particular server which I am going to access. So for example, it is Instagram.com. So it is .com. From this root domain server, I can get the .com server's address. Like it is called as a top level domain. So it is known as the top level domain. So in the top level domain, I have the addresses of like .com, .org, .in. So from that, I need to access the .com. So when I approach this top level domain, so it gives us the address of the authoritative name server. So from that .com, so there will be a list of different .coms. So I get the address of a google.com. So then I will access this google.com. So from top level domain, I will be going to the name server that is known as the authoritative name server. It is known as the authoritative name server. From this authoritative name server, I can get the IP address of the particular .com which I am searching. And DNS uses both the TCP and the UDP protocols. So here the TCP is being used for the zone transfer and UDP is used for the name and queries. Okay, let's understand the practicals of it using the Cisco packet tracer. So I just built a simple network here. There are two PCs with a router and one interface is connected with a server. So I'm going to use this server as a DNS server. So let's configure this server now. Let's click on the services. I'm going to access the DNS service. So first we need to on the service. Then we can see here the resource records. So from here I'm going to create a website. So let's say it is networkhome.com. So here there is a record. I'm going to save it as a record itself. Then I'm going to give an address for this website. So this is the address which I have mentioned for the server, that is 192.168.2.100. I'm going to enter that. Click on add and I'm going to save this. I'm also going to assign the IP address for the server in a static mode. It is 192.168.2.100. Subnet mask and gateway. I'm going to mention the gateway. So the gateway is this one, 192.168.2.1. And I'll also specify the DNS server IP, that is again the IP which I have given for the server itself, since it is the DNS server. Okay, then in the services, I'm also going to access the DHCP because I'm going to assign the IP address for the PCs in a using the DHCP itself. Okay, then I'm going to just make it 0. Okay, I'm going to turn on the service. Just I'm going to name the pool. This I'm named it as a network pool. So I'm going to specify the default gateway. So here, the gateway for the PCs is this interface of the router. So I'm going to specify this IP address, 192.168.1.1. Then DNS server is 192.168.2.100. That is DNS server's IP address. Then we need to mention the start IP address. So 192.168 dot. Okay, I'm going to start with 1.2 here. Then the subnet mask, it is 255.255.255.0. That is the default subnet mask for a class C IP. Maximum number of users, let's say 100. Then I'm going to add it and save the DHCP pool that has been created. Okay, I have configured the server. Now I am going to configure the router. Let's get into the CLI mode. enable config T. So now I'm in the configuration mode. I'm going to select the first interface, that is FA0/1. I'm going to add the IP address. So I'm configuring this particular interface. So the IP address is 192.168.2.1 with the default subnet mask. Now shutdown and exit. Then I'm going to select the second interface, that is FA0/0. I'm going to add the IP address 192.168.1.1 with the subnet mask. No shutdown and exit. Okay, then I'm going to specify the helper address, that is, this server is going to assign the IP address for the PCs from the pool, the DHCP pool which we had created earlier. So I'm going to specify the interface again, FA0/0. Then I will specify IP helper address, that is the IP address of this server. Enter. Then exit. Okay. Now for this PC, I'm going to check the IP address in a DHCP mode. Just click on the DHCP. So as you can see, the IP address 192.168.1.2 has been assigned automatically from the DHCP pool. So similarly, I can check out with the second PC. I can see 192.168.1.3 has been assigned for the second PC. So in the first PC, I'm going to ping the server now in order to check the connectivity. So ping 192.168.2.100. As you can see, there is successfully pinged. The connectivity is established. Now I'm going to access the website that was created from the first PC. The website name was networkhome.com. So click on enter. As you can see, the website has been opened. Then I'm going to access it using the IP address. So you can see the same website has been accessed using a website name and also using IP address. So here, the background process that is working is the DNS. So once I entered the name of a website, it was converted into IP address and it was accessed. If I use the IP address, so it is also accessing the same page. So DNS is the one which helps in converting the name into a fully qualified domain name into IP address and IP address into a fully qualified domain name, and it makes us easier to access the website rather than remembering the IP addresses. So that's all for the day. Thank you for watching the video. Keep supporting us.